up, guys? It's me, Juan Pablo from 100% Finance at 100%finance.com. Mr. Passive Income, Mr. Cash Flow, the people's mentor. I got what you need to succeed. Thank you guys so much for joining in. I greatly appreciate your viewership. Today's topic of discussion: use hard money to fund your flips and your rentals. 100% Finance. And by the way, we have a live webinar. Before I forget, we have a live webinar starting March 13th. It's a Monday, in which we'll teach you the ins and outs of using hard money for both flipping as well as for buy and holding. Okay, but for the purpose of this video, we'll talk about hard money, about the terms, what is hard money, how to use hard money, also how to supplement hard money if you happen to need a down payment, all that good stuff. All right, you guys ready for it? Excellent, excellent, excellent. So thanks again for joining. And this video should be about 15 minutes in length, all right? If you want additional information, of course, check the link below in the description for the webinar. Okay. Hard money. What is hard money? Hard money is a term that we real estate investors like to use to describe a private lender who will lend you money to not only buy the property, but repair the property, as long as you buy the property right. So what do I mean by that? If you come across a distressed asset, that's what hard money is normally used for distressed assets. Hard money lenders will lend you the capital you need to purchase it as well as fix it up, to rehab it. So you might be thinking, well, why would I go with a hard money lender when I can go to a bank like Bank of America or Wells Fargo, a traditional mortgage lender? Well, duh! These traditional mortgage lenders ain't gonna lend you money on a house that's not habitable. They're not going to give you money for a house that's beat up and ugly with no plumbing, bad electrical work, there might be a hole in the roof. If it's not habitable, they're not lending. That's why you use hard money lenders for these distressed, in other words, beat up, ugly houses. Right? Because you got to understand the traditional mortgage lender standpoint. It's more of a risk to them to lend money on an asset that's distressed, that's dilapidated, that's beat up from the floor up. Everything from the basement to the roof needs replaced. It's a high risk. So they tend not to lend you money. However, hard money lenders are willing to take on that risk. Hence the term hard money. They'll give you the money, but the terms will be hard. Because, as you guys probably guessed it, it's very expensive. I mean, it's very risky for them to lend you money on an asset that's distressed. So if the asset is beat up, they want to compensate for that risk by charging harder terms. The interest rate may be hard, meaning 12% interest rate or higher. Yep, 12%. The points, meaning 1% of the purchase price, may be high as well. Maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 points I've seen for some hard money lenders. Plus, they may require just interest-only payments. So, just to let you guys know, if you borrow $100,000 from a hard money lender, they may want 15% interest plus 3 points, for example. And a point is 1% of the amount of money that you're borrowing. So, if that's $100,000 in that example, and 3 points, that means you're paying $3,000 on top of the $100,000 that you borrowed, on top of that 15% interest rate. It's hard. Plus, they may say, okay, there's a prepayment penalty, which means even if you finish the loan and so forth, you refinanced out, you sold it, you flipped it, however, whatever your exit strategy was, you got out the hard money in 3 months. Some hard money lenders will still say, hey, bro, you still owe me 6 months of interest. That's a prepayment penalty. They don't care. If you did a great job and finished the rehab in 3 months, hey, guess what? At closing, you still owe me an additional 3 months. 6 months prepayment penalty. So they're all different. So as you can tell, the terms may be hard. So you may be thinking, well, the terms are that hard. Why on earth will I ever consider using the hard money? For one, it's risky buying a distressed asset. Hence the reason why major banks such as Bank of America, Wells Fargo, and other traditional mortgage companies won't invest or lend money on that type of investment. So it's risky. And for two, the terms are hard. It's expensive to use hard money. So why on earth, Juan Pablo, the people's mentor, are you recommending that? Well, duh. To get 100% financing. Most hard money lenders will extend you the capital you need, again, to buy it and fix it up as long as you buy it right. So here's the math. This is what you should write down. Hard money lenders will give you the money to buy the property, purchase price, and repair the property, rehab cost. Purchase price plus rehab must equal 65% of the ARV, the after repair value. So let's say in that scenario, the after repair value is $100,000. After the property is fixed up and pretty, that's what ARV means. See, that's why you love me as People's Mentor, because I break every term down so that everybody can understand it. You can understand and do real estate investing. It doesn't take a genius to know this stuff. It just takes a mentor to help hold your hand and guide you along the way. And that's what I'm here for, okay? So, if the house will be worth $100,000 once it's fixed up and pretty, your job as an astute genius, you a genius, you loyal, you smart. Being a smart real estate investor, you have to make sure that you're able to buy it and fix it up, and it has to cost no more than $65,000. You got it? So if you're buying it for $30 and you're fixing it up for $30 and you got $5,000 in closing costs, 30 plus 30 plus 5 is $65,000. You know the house will be worth 65? I mean, it will be worth 100, excuse me. Then you're buying it right. Keep in mind, if you think that you're perceiving value off this free content, when we get into this webinar or the coaching program, it's going to be a lot in depth. Okay? So don't just think, oh, I can just be an average viewer of all the YouTube. No, don't just be a viewer, be a doer. Yes, consume the content, don't get me wrong, because I feel like I'm obligated to share my abundance of knowledge with you guys. But if you really want to take this to the next level, you definitely need to join the webinar. And it's a low cost. Just check the link below, okay? At the time of this recording, it's $7.97 to learn the ins and outs of hard money, okay? You done with the plug? Yeah, I'm done with the plug, dog. I'm going to continue with the lesson. All right, so it's expensive, but it's advantageous for you to use hard money because you have a private lender who will lend you the money. So I know some of you guys may be thinking, hey, Juan Pablo, that's not true, because in my market, it requires a down payment regardless. Every hard money lender is different, bro. Don't you know that? Every market is different, bro. These are private lenders. If I was lending you money, I might say, hey, being that I don't know you, I'm charging you a 10% interest rate and 2 points. But if you contact Joe Blow down the street, he may say, hey, being that I don't know you, I also need to see a credit report. And I still require a 10% down payment, but I don't need 10% interest rate. I can deal with 8. They're all different based upon their criteria. Just keep that in mind. But I'll show you in the webinar and coaching programs how to evaluate the best hard money lenders in your model. And even if they still require a down payment, you can still do it 100% finance. How? Business funding. Business funding. And that leads me to the next point. How to use hard money for flips and rentals. Flip. I did a flip in Atlanta, Georgia. This is where I reside. So I did a flip. I partnered with someone to do a flip. And we used hard money. The hard money interest rate was 13% and the points were 3. 3 points, 13% interest rate. Down payment was required in the market of Atlanta, Georgia. How much? I'm glad you asked. 20% down payment. So it doesn't matter, even if we bought it under 65% of the ARV, we still were required to come up with 20% down payment. But did that matter to me? No, I'm Mr. 100% finance. I use business funding to finance a down payment. And I factor that into the cash flow analysis. So if you don't know cash flow analysis, we'll break it down in the webinar. Of course, I can't give you everything in this short 15-minute video because we're already at the 9-minute mark, so I got to speed it up. But you'll get more details in the webinar, which is about hour and a half. It's about 2 hours in length because we factor in Q&A as well in the webinar. So make sure you join, okay? So I use that for a flip. Use business credit to cover up the down payment costs because hard money lenders are not as stringent in regard to the underwriting. In other words, they ain't going to be like the major banks looking through all your bank statements and see where you get the down payment from and looking at your credit report. Hey, where does inquiry come from? Where does hard inquiry came from in July of 2015? You're like, bro, I don't know. That was 2 years ago. It's not the same with hard money. They're less stringent. Okay? So it's great to use, especially if you don't have the stellar, the pretty credit. So if you're in that position where my credit's not so pretty, I don't have all the documented income that's required for a major bank, then that's cool. Hard money may still be a good financing option for you to fund your flips and your rentals. So we got the money to buy the property and fix it up. We did that, and then we decided to put it on the market, use the stager to stage the property so it can sell quickly. Got under contract within 3 weeks of completing rehab, so that's pretty good, you know, pat on the back. And then we sold it for a profit. And keep in mind, so when I partnered, even though I came up with the down payment because I have business credit cards, you might have seen in my other videos about business credit team. And if you're interested in business funding or want to learn how, apply through 100percentfinance.com. You get free consultation to all those who apply. Just apply. Don't be sending me all these questions about business credit in your personal situation. That's what free consultation is for, bro. Alright, it's for you to apply. Alright, so I got a return on that, the interest rate. Because even though I brought the money to the table, as an investor, I still want a return on that. Plus, I partnered, so I did some work and so forth as a general partner, and I got a piece of the proceeds as well. And so it's very good to use hard money for flips. Use it to buy the property, fix it up, and then put it on the market to list it, to sell. And we'll be going over all that stuff in detail in the webinar. But you can also use it for rentals. Many people are not aware that you can use hard money for the buy and hold strategy. So I invested in buy and hold in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So yes, I've used hard money lenders in 2 different markets. I used Atlanta, required 20% down payment, 30% interest rate, 3 points, 20% down payment if I haven't said that already, in Atlanta, Georgia. But in Pittsburgh, it was a 15% interest rate, 2 points, no down payment required. So I got some money from a hard money lender to buy and fix it up, but I had to bring $6,000 to the table. Because the hard money lender, he didn't require a 20% down payment. No down payment. As long as I got it 65% of the ARV. But I didn't get it all the way under 65% of the ARV. I got a 95% finance. So I had to bring $6,000 to closing to cover the closing costs. And if this sounds like Chinese or a foreign language, that's the point of getting our ebooks. That's the point of joining the coaching program, so you can learn. Repetition is the mother of learning. I didn't know all this stuff right from the back. But I'll tell you this, I just ain't watched a 15-minute video and took action. I had to brainwash myself for success. And that's the point of the coaching, the webinars, and so forth. So continue watching, and don't just be a viewer, be a doer. Take action, okay? If you really want to see your financial situation change this year. So back to the story. So I got the money, $6,000 out of my pocket. Then I used that money to buy it, fix it up, and then once it was fixed up and pretty, I put a tenant in there. Instead of flipping it, I didn't flip it, put it on the market for sale. I put a tenant in there. And then I went to my bank, the major banks, and they said, oh yeah, the property's pretty now. It's fixed up, it's habitable. Therefore, I will do a refinance. See, banks will lend money on pretty houses, not ugly houses. So keep that in mind. Hard money is great for ugly houses. But once they're pretty, then you use the banks. When I say banks, I mean conventional mortgages, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, so forth. So I refinanced. It's called a cash out refinance. I pulled the cash out, the equity. It was $27,000. Remember, I only put up $6,000, but I pulled out $27,000. Sounds good, doesn't it? Plus, I was cash flowing $600 a month. That's why, in my opinion, hard money is better suited for buying holds than for flips. Because not only can you get the equity out, just like with flips, but I don't gotta pay no capital gains tax. It's a loan! Right? Plus, I still get to hold the property and milk the cash flow. So sweet. Alright? A lot of good stuff. So, that's how I used it. So again, you might be thinking, bro, this is a lot of information. Brain overload, brain overload. It's cool. Again, repetition, baby. Ebooks have information on it, and a webinar coming up March 13th. You gotta check the link below, and it's at a low cost. It's $7.97. So make sure you join so we can get you acclimated into the thought process of using hard money. And not only will you get this information here, but additional information: how to find the hard money lenders, how to evaluate the hard money lenders, how to analyze a hard money deal, the rehab process, the strategies involved, staging. All that stuff is included with the webinar. So check the link below in the description to learn more. And I'll be discussing it for you guys, alright? So my time is up. As always, this is to your success. Earn passively and live passionately. Peace. Thanks for watching the video. We appreciate your viewership. By the way, guys, make sure you subscribe to 100%finance.com. We have a plethora of tools that can help you succeed financially. We have a report on credit repair, 3 tips on how you can improve your FICO score. We also have a business credit ebook. We have a ton of real estate related documents, from deal analyzers to a mortgage calculator, a whole bunch of resources. You just have to subscribe. And one last thing, don't want to forget, we are offering free live webinars to answer your questions. This is only made available to our website subscribers. So you have to subscribe to 100%finance.com to receive the details as to the date, the time, and the call-in information for the webinars to answer your credit repair, business credit, or business funding needs, as well as your real estate related questions. Thank you guys again for watching, and subscribe.